For Indiana, at guard, a 6'2" senior from Newcastle, Indiana, number 12, Steve Alford.
Now, 2 plays ago, you may have noticed Alford's reaction here when he banged into Terrence Howard. Howard hounding him back down by the baseline. I think the little incident between Garrett and Moore may have turned him on, Billy. Thomas, and certainly the lecture he received from the coach didn't hurt either. Now it's 24-17, and the crowd climbs into it.
Indiana stays in the man-to-man.
Holloway rebounding Moore's miss. That's his 5th rebound here in the first half. Alford. His first field goal.
The 1-2-2 zone found Taylor in a position where he was trying to protect inside, but you've got Alford out there with that great jump shot so he can really split his zone. Of course, Moore was around last year when he had the great Chuck Person, so his inside game was even more effective because he had that great range shooter. Alford open.
It's a 2. You mentioned Person. He's involved in
Bobby Knight throw his eyes right up in the back of his head. He can't believe somebody, he's still staring up in the ceiling. Can't believe somebody could be that wide open. Now Auburn goes to a 1-3-1 zone.
3. Alford's first home run.
That's what's so tough about this club. If you play a zone against them, Alford stands outside. It's very difficult.
The crowd up for the first time. Hoosiers have closed to within.
Here are those inside screens.
Stolen by Thomas. Another player goes crashing to the floor. Alford bangs in a 3-pointer.
That's a legal solid screen, Brent, because the screener was still giving that man a lot more than 1 step. Watch this shot. Legitimate screen. You cannot run right through the man, so there was no foul there whatsoever. It was a legitimate play. You know, you can have contact and it not be a foul, and that was a good case for it right there.
It's down to 1. The crowd's alive. 16 points for Jones.
Colbert, as you remember, took him to the Final Four in '81. Back to the box and 1, chasing Steve Alford on that baseline.
Quick pass to Thomas. Chance for a 3-pointer. Indiana leading Auburn 43-40. We'll be right back. Billy, let's take a look at Alford.
Well, Auburn's playing the box and 1. Now watch Steve Alford over in the right-hand corner, constantly on the move. He very seldom handles the ball with the dribble. Now here he comes, and here comes the man chasing him. But what happens, Jones realizes he's unguarded out there. He steps outside of his area in the box and 1. Thomas, realizing there's a hole there, steps right in. That's why it's so tough to play the junk defenses against Steve. It's not available anymore to Jones. Auburn stays in the box and 1. Keep an eye on Alford's movement.
We'll see the running Rebels. Can they go all the way? We're going to find out. Sonny Smith is very vociferous about one official out here right now.
I don't blame him, Brent.
Most of his calls have been against Auburn, Billy?
It looked that way to me.
Indiana 47, Auburn 42. And it's something we talk about, the fouls and the free throws going one way, and yet the biggest foul of the game goes against Indiana. Morris underneath, can't hit the layup, yanked away by Thomas. That's the way it is. I guess the breaks somehow even up. Doesn't seem that way, though, especially if you're a coach.
Alford's 3 on the money. Well, that's a good job by Smart to force that defense all the way back to the basket. Okay, now here you go. Back to a different defense, the level open effort. Brett, you wonder how any defense can be conceived to leave that fellow open. The first one Morris has had to get the fall for him here in his second half, although he's had two others. He was right inside. Alford's going to recognize this defense, Brent, and get outside for the three-pointer against this 1-3-1.
Smart's got him.
There he is.
Just like you predicted.
He can smell those type of zones, and he knows where the holes are. Son of a coach, plus being well coached in the college level. They change their defense again. They go back to the triangle and two. Steve Alford is so patient, isn't he?
He sure is.
He's a clinic.
There's Callaway. Rick Callaway. 14 this afternoon.
That defense is designed to stop Callaway and Alford. They're the two scoring against it.
White couldn't get it to roll. Callaway out to Alford. Thomas on the right. Alford pulls up.
But they're waiting a long time to call a timeout to change this momentum. And
you'll take it down. Showing you why they are the top-seeded team in the Midwest region. We'll be right back. Bill Alford does so many things well.
Well, here's one of the things that a lot of young players ought to keep an eye on. He's going to take the ball down on a semi-break. He does not try to penetrate all the way, but pulls up at that foul line. He gave a little ball fake and head fake, looking like he was going to Thomas, which really sealed the defense to the point that they were mesmerized, and he pulled up and took that jump shot. Really a key play for that guy, if he can't penetrate all the way, to pull up at that foul line.
Billy, he has scored 25.
About as quiet at 25 as you'll ever see. And he hasn't had to go to the three-point shot that much, although every one he put up there, it seems like he's made.
The Indiana defense has held Auburn to 5 of 15 with that poor shooting statistic that you just saw on the screen. The backcourt, and it's intercepted. Smart, who has dished out 10 assists, has played a strong floor game for Knight here this afternoon. Alford the three.
Credit Meyer with a great screen on Steve Alford. You notice when he comes back to the ball, Brent, he's squared up to the basket, feet, shoulders, and everything. So he's ready to release that three-point shot.
More.
And speaking of the three-point shot, a little stat that's kind of interesting. Indiana is the only team in the NCAA field that's shooting over 50% from the three-point range as a team. Of course, a lot of that's credited to Alford,
who is 6 of 8 from that range in this game.
As I said before, I can't remember the ones he missed.
There was a whistle before Smart shot. 79-70, 10 minutes to go.
They're back to the box and one now, chasing Alford around.
Steve's three, not this time. Jones shooting 64% from the field, holding Auburn to 41%, with Steve Alford leading the way.
Brent, team fouls for Auburn only 3. You remember the first half that Indiana was in, at this point, was already in the 1-and-1. Actually at the 11-minute mark.
Morris takes Alford to the floor on the cut.
Trying to get a screen. They'll have Morris on him now, putting a taller man on Alford, but Alford will move right around those screens. Morris comes over the shoulder. And he kicked Alford on the way down. Really unnecessary. A little cheap shot there.
Alford's three.
Well, if you're going to
31 points.
If you're going to play against Indiana, you have to know that out-of-bounds play with the double screen is coming. From putting up the jumper. Plus, Alford very seldom forces a jump shot. So his job is just to stay in position, not worry about trying to make blocks. They go to half-court trap. Nice.
Moore. That's his fourth.
Great head fake by Steve Alford on the side. Gets this man up, and then right off the dribble, whips that pass inside. Great play. It'd be interesting to chart how little Steve Alford has the ball in his hands. Talking about a guy that scored over 2,000 points in his career. #1 scorer in the history of Indiana basketball. Now, I guess, the #1 scorer in the history of the Big Ten, past Rick Mount today.
He's hit 7 3-pointers today out of his 10 attempts. Overall, 10 of 15 from the floor.
You know, he looks like a choir boy, but is a lot tougher kid than his looks show you.
He didn't back away when
No.
he got a little heated. Here they come.
For Indiana, it's win the game. Don't try to do things spectacularly.
Gonna put somebody on the line. Score the basket. Indiana will advance to the regional next Thursday night in Cincinnati, where Knight and the Hoosiers will take on the winner of the Duke Xavier game.
Now, that could possibly bring up a matchup between coach and pupil.
So I'm reminded that they will play Friday in Cincinnati.
You like to have those seniors come tournament time. Thomas, Alford. Then that nice blend of the junior college Smart coming in there. And Garrett.
3 by White.
This Auburn team looked very good today, and it shows you how good the SEC is. They came in 5th place in that league. Oh, beauty.
Into the Indiana lineup, number 44, Joe Hillman.
Alford will lead.
Steve Alford played here on another night before 67,000 when Bob Knight brought that Olympic team in here.
We're tied at 12. Now here's the only returning player from last year's great ball club that was a starter. And he has just changed his role with this club from being the assist man and getting the ball to Dawkins and Allery. Now he's got to go out and score some points.
Alford puts it up after drawing the foul from Tommy Amaker. And he'll shoot a couple. Well, they knocked off the ball in the first game here by 5. Steve Alford hitting almost 90% of his free throws for his career.
You know, it'd take us around 20 minutes to go over all the things he's been able to achieve at Indiana. But, you know, what's amazing is he's a better three-point shooter than he is from the two-point range. He's shooting, shot for the year, 53% from the three-point area and only 47% from the two-point area.
Alford's 1 out of 2 makes it a 13-12 Indiana lead. 14:49 to go first half.
Player, you know, coming out of high school, he was rated the #1 high school player in the country coming out of DeMatha High School in Washington.
Duke is a perfect 3 of 3 from three-point range. Alford triple team, dishing it off, and finds Garrett.
Well, right there, he showed something that Bobby Knight's teams always do, and they practice it on a daily basis. On a daily basis, and that is the ball fake. They'll show you the ball. If you leave your feet at all defensively, they put it on the floor, reestablish their position with it. We saw Alford, and he made a great pass.
Foul was on Alford as Bobby Knight looked on. That's the 4th team foul. And Duke will lead.
Rotated. What happened was Amaker ended up playing against Dwayne Thomas, giving up 5-6 inches inside, but they rotated so beautifully to help him inside. He wasn't able to get that good shot.
Galloway with Amaker on him. Now Alford with only 1 point. Thomas, good feed from Alford down in. And Thomas puts it off the glass. Will have a chance for a 3-point play.
Steve Alford has one great quality, I think, in that he has such patience. You know, he knows that he's going to be out on the court for 40 minutes. And he knows at some point in this game he's going to get open. He's going to start hitting some shots. And he just shows what a great team leader and player he is.
He is the kind you hope every mother hopes her daughter will bring home. Alford. That's 2.
That's what I'm talking about, the patience of Steve Alford.
31-26, 8:23 to go first half. Indiana has Alford, Joe Hillman, Steve Isle, Galloway, and Garrett in the lineup now. Alford. See that before?
He comes off screens from the top of the circle, from the baseline, everywhere. You have to have eyes in the back of your head.
Duke calls timeout.
Now, Duke has got to do something defensively to get themselves going, because right now, Indiana's just putting on a clinic. They come down, either they're getting it inside, getting the easy opportunity, or getting the easy open jump shot.
Garrett controls the loose ball, and Amaker makes the steal for three. No. Hillman takes it out of Amaker's arms. And Joe Hillman, number 44, blind pass, left side, shot, good.
There's that Joe Hillman again. That last series of plays against Amaker, he did one thing so well. He knows he's not as quick as Amaker, but what he did is he got himself in a position where he wasn't going to allow Tommy Amaker to penetrate.
Strickland. He's now 1 of 4 from the field, and Keith Smart, playing with 2 fouls, gets the rebound. And for the Hoosiers, they've got Alford, who had 6 points in the first half, and gets a quick 2. Almost.
It was such a great touch. You know, for young people to watch a shooter, he shoots the ball, he always has his shoulders squared up.
So does Danny Ferry.
Yep. Excellent shooter, good form. But the one thing they both do is when they leave their feet for the jump shot, they come down in the same spot. And what that means is they shoot it the same way every time.
Smart gets a couple.
Duke is going to look to apply a lot more defensive pressure.
Amaker to Ferry. Passes on the three-pointer. Off the glass, gets 2. They trail by 8, 14:50 to go. Team fouls 3 for Indiana, 1 for Duke in this half.
Now, Danny Ferry had a mismatch. Oh, great pass inside.
Bill, he may be the best passing big man in the country, as well as all of his other attributes.
Well, he thinks pass before shot. And I think right now that becomes contagious with your ball club.
Joe Hillman has come back off the bench now for Indiana, number 44. This is Callaway. Fights his way into the line. Watch Danny Ferry with a pass. This is a young man who really has that knack.
Now look at this. I don't know how he saw the man.
Ferry had 137 assists coming in.
Now again, offensively, we're seeing Steve Alford very quiet out here. Not looking for him as much as they have been. And I think they better start getting him involved at the offensive end.
Smart. Thomas couldn't get it for Indiana. Amaker has it. 3-on-3. Lost control. Here comes the Hoosiers the other way.
Oh, boy.
And Smart missed the shot. Gets the follow.
Showtime.
Duke timeout. Down to 5 at 66-61. 7:24 to go in the game. Almost got the turnover again as King dived for the ball.
You know, so far in this half, Indiana's only scored, 17 points?
That's right.
So
49-39 at the half.
Yeah, so it's really turned into a defensive battle.
King just about got the steal. Pump fake. Alford. That's when he goes in. He's in double figures now.
Fine move. Just got Quinn Snyder out of position. Watch him step out right there. Snyder should have been denying him the basketball. Leaves his feet. Now it's history.
10 points in the game for Steve Alford, with a chance to go into 11 or go to 11. And for the 34th consecutive game, Alford is in double figures. We're coming to you live tonight on CBS from Riverfront Coliseum in Cincinnati, Ohio, where Indiana led by 10 at the half. They lead by 8 now, with 6:52 to go in this Midwest Regional Semi. The captain of the West Point team, coached by Bob Knight in 1969. First time Duke and Indiana have ever met. Ferry, 3 points. Yes, again.
That's his 4th three-point shot.
5.5 to go in the game. 74-66, Indiana. Winner advances to the round of 8 on our coverage of the NCAA Championship on CBS, The Road to New Orleans.
Alford, he is so smart. First of all, he had 2 players out on him, took the dribble, and you notice how he kept his body between the man and the basket. He wouldn't let the guy get around and get any defense.
Each way, you saw that with 3:35 to go. Both teams Duke has 2 timeouts left. Indiana has 4. Berry for 3.
Got it! Well, the reason he's so effective with this small lineup, Dean Garrett's got to go out and play him. He's not used to having to go out and play centers shooting 3-point shots.
Duke is 7 of 8 from 3-point range. Callaway with the answer.
Oh, you hate to see either one of these coaches or teams lose a game like this.
Callaway with 19 points, 5-point edge at the 3-minute mark. Amaker. They're 8 of 9 from 3-point range.
Tell me this 3-point shot isn't exciting to this game of basketball. It drives coaches crazy, but I think as a fan and as an announcer, I love it.
2 points at 78-76. Tommy Amaker, a career high of 23 points. Underneath, Alford.
Boy, that's some move, what he did, curling around that screen set by Garrett and making that tough shot. And the great thing was he took it to the other side of the basket where Berry could not try and block the shot.
Berry, jump fake. Shot not there. That's rebound Indiana. Rick Callaway, 1:22 to go. And the Hoosiers up by 6.
The problem is they're going to keep the ball in Alford's hands, and he's an 89% foul shooter.
Quinn Snyder thought he might have tied it up. I could read Krzyzewski's lips. You didn't even see it, he said.
But yet you really have to take your hat off to what Mike Krzyzewski was able to do with his team after halftime, because it appeared the way they went off the court here, their chins were on the floor, but he was able to get them back into the ball game and have their spirits up high because they are a young team.
Alford uses all 360 degrees of the rim.
Do you notice that it's always the good shooters that do that? Because their form is so good that they're going to get the good bounces. See what I said?
All right, coach. And Oklahoma now on top of Iowa by 2 late in the second half. Don't forget, we'll be going to the West Coast and show you the final 4 minutes of that game, or most of them. Rick Callaway leaves. And the Cincinnati native had an excellent game tonight. 7 rebounds and 21 points, and Mom liked it.
He might get a home-cooked meal tomorrow night.
Alford with 17 points and 4 of 6 from the line. Joe Hillman comes in. Steve Alford will get a rest. And the final.
And for Indiana at guard, a 6'2 senior from Newcastle, Indiana, wearing number 12, Steve Alford.
On the switch, he's not going to be able to do the job that Garrett can do on a guy like Nikita Wilson.
What about the early defense being used by Brown, Billy?
Well, the key to do is to watch the 2 big men posting up down inside defensively. They're playing, looks like a little 2-man zone. The other 3 fellas playing man-to-man right now.
Alford passed a shot. Callaway did too. Alford maneuvering on Woodside and goes against Woodside. That is his first personal foul.
Alford will take that challenge, but he doesn't usually shoot any bad shots. He's got a lot of pump fakes, a lot of hesitation, a little bit stronger than he looks. He makes very good shot selection decision. If you're going to play for Bob Knight, you have to do that or you'll be sitting.
There's Steve Alford's mother and father, Sam, the high school coach, Sharon Alford. Yes, that is spelled correctly. A-N.
And you talk about the tutor who taught Steve how to shoot, and still to this day, when he gets out of sync, that's the man he turns to, kind of like Arnold Palmer and his dad when it came down to the golf stroke.
Joe cut off by Alford as he came in. He traveled, bounced back on the outside, and turned it over.
Nice piece of defense by Steve Alford because he's up against a quicker athlete. Woodside's not shooting from out there, so Callaway's just going to go ahead and shade him a little bit, but not go out on him, which makes the interior pretty tough to operate in.
Against a triple team, it's turned over, and Alford's in the middle. Gives it to Smart on a bounce pass. A beauty looking the other way.
Smart has that explosive ability to go the hoop.
Joe's three rattles out, and a rebound, Callaway. That long rebound, which you frequently get off a missed three-point shot in the college game. Alford bounces it in. Thomas couldn't get the handle. Now he muscles his way up for his first field goal of the game.
He's got about 40 pounds on Wilson, and he used every ounce of it in that play.
Each Hoosier starter has a field goal except Steve Alford. And before it's over, he'll be the high point man. Bet on it.
He won't force it, though.
Woodside outside. With the size matchup that Dale Brown is using against Steve Alford, you begin to wonder what Knight will do to counter this to get Alford open. We're all so familiar. You've seen him so many times on television. They use screens. Steve is not a great athlete. He's not real quick, doesn't jump real well. He needs screens to get free for the jump shot. They're keeping a taller man on him. They're chasing him all over the floor with Woodside, who's one of the better defensive players in the land. Up over the top of him, a three for Alford. His first field goal of the game.
Woodside tapped his chest and looked over to Dale Brown. He said, I've got him. He didn't have him that time. He shot it without the dribble, without the fake.
One of the greatest shooters I've ever seen. Knocked away from Vargas. Steve's got it again for Indiana in the middle. Smart's on his left.
Good job by Woodside to make him pull up.
Callaway open. 2 field goals for Rick Callaway in front of his mother and father and relatives here this afternoon in Cincinnati.
He's hit 3 jump shots. Didn't even look to take them. I said they're going to need a third scorer, but I never would have bet it'd come from Woodside.
Alford on the move, and now he's getting into it. 7 points. Waits for the game to come to him. So patient.
Oliver Brown's up off that bench.
Steal by Callaway. He'll come back on Irvin. Give it to Stave and return pass.
Touchdown.
Hoosiers lead it by 1, 31-30, and that brought the crowd up. Nikita Wilson. Indiana's ball.
Good block out.
Smart's ahead of Alford. He's going to try to get it at him. He couldn't, so he nails a 3.
You think that kid doesn't have some courage? And look at mom and dad up there. Almost like the Indiana High School's championship right here. These people getting a fever.
Is Woodside still touching his chest?
How about that movie Hoosiers? Huh? They could have used this as one of the scenes.
I know one producer is pulling for Indiana to get to the Final Four.
Garrett doing a nice job on Wilson. Made him alter that last shot.
See how they double down quickly? They drop Thomas in when they can. Now Anthony Wilson took the 3. 1-point lead.
Brent, I don't think the three-point play belongs in college basketball.
Right, no excitement, right, Kelly?
It doesn't add anything to the
fun
game.
with it at all. Alford is fouled.
Woodside complaining that he's getting hit on the picks on the inside. Dale Brown trying to support him. Now, if you're going to talk to a referee, this is the right way to talk to one.
Let's see. Let's watch this pick now. This is what they do for
illegal.
Alford.
That's an illegal screen. Garrett went out, used 2 hands, wasn't in a normal screening position, should have been a foul. Woodside's been right on everything he's done all day, including refereeing the game.
He'll take a break with 10 points. Alford makes it 11. Oliver Brown, number 31, is returned against Knight's Hoosiers.
Brent, we talk about him being a great free throw shooter, which he is, but in high school he was 286 out of 303. 94% as a high school player. Yep. That time Garrett tried to help out inside, and he has to be thinking a little bit. Can't let Nikita Wilson alone.
Alford.
You know what he's doing, Brent? He realized that those quick athletes can handle him when he puts the ball on the floor, so he's shooting right off the touch of the catch. He catches those guys off guard.
Make that move to the baseline. This is how tough it is getting out there. Oliver Brown would have checked as he comes right down on the inside, something that Steve Alford has faced throughout his career. Woodside back in the game to track him. He did an excellent job early in the game, and then Alford started to light him up. Getting inside, and the foul is called. Foul is against LSU.
Got him after the shot. Alford runs those baseline screens, and it is so tough down there to chase him.
Now he got Woodside, who was cold, off the bench, went to work on him, and drew the third foul on Woodside. Oliver Brown reports back in for LSU, and Woodside will sit down, and that hurts LSU defensively.
Goes inside, doesn't have anything going for him, gets blocked. Maybe the momentum of the block knocked him to the floor. But in any case, when you put him on the line, you're almost looking at 2.
Indiana 9 of 11 from the free throw line. LSU only 1 of 5. There has been a difference at the line here in the first set.
Boy, Steve Alford has really improved himself defensively. A guy like Irvin would normally go by him when he was a freshman. Nikita had problems with Garrett having a hand in his face, but he'll just spin on Isle. Seeing some real athletes out here. Guys like Smart been beating people with quickness.
Thomas cut off trying to come through the lane, and foul is called on Alford's penetration. Brown, second personal, not happy with it. Bree Smith, number 42, comes Indiana's second sub.
These fouls can start picking up, particularly when you put an Alford on the line. He's 6 for 6 with 16 points. Plus, he's building up. You know that LSU's not that deep with players. They're in good physical shape, but you can't do anything. The guys on the bench with foul trouble.
Darryl Joe, their starting point guard, returns, and Oliver Brown sits down. Alford in the first half, 18 points. Remember when we were saying he's only got 2 points, just 2 free throws, doing a good job.
He doesn't force the game. He lets it come right to him. It's amazing. He's now the second highest scorer in Big Ten history. Passed Rick Mount last week.
Going at it inside. That's the first time all tournament long that Nikita Wilson has gotten to the line. 67-59 LSU over Indiana.
Oh, that's okay. It hit the referee. But the reason I don't think he gets fouled a lot is he's so quick you can't get to him before he gets a shot off.
Alford inside drew the foul from LSU. So he will come up to that free throw line. That's the second on Nikita Wilson.
Here comes Oliver Brown going through the trenches. Bang, that's an illegal screen. And he brings it right back. Vargas should have held his ground there. Had no chance to block it, and had that shot missed, he wouldn't have been in a position to rebound.
Trying to score for the first time this half, and he does. All 18 of his points come in the first half. We're at the 8-minute mark at Riverfront Coliseum in Cincinnati. 67-61 LSU.
He had 8 of them from the foul line in the first half, so now he's got 10 points from the line.
3 up there. Garrett's rebound, and here they come.
You know, LSU has forgotten about Nikita Wilson the last 4 or 5 times down the floor. They better start getting the ball in his hands.
It'll be Callaway inside and jammed in strong. 19 for Garrett.
He's doing it on both ends of the floor. Let's see if LSU starts thinking about getting Nikita the ball a little bit here. Pass. He thought Nikita was coming.
Joe Hillman, who checked in, went to the glass, blocking foul, scored a field goal. And Joe Hillman, who is coming off the bench, the 6'2 junior from Glendale, California, gives the Hoosiers a huge lift against Dale Brown.
That was quite a substitution by Bobby Knight. He puts Hillman in to distribute the ball, gives Smart a little rest.
And that's the 5th foul on the key defensive player here today, Bernard Woodside. The man who hounded Steve Alford fouls out of the game at the 3:45 mark.
Bobby had to put Isaiah down. But all of a sudden in the second half, Indiana came back, took over, and then went on to win the NCAA championship.
Hillman, after the timeout, completes the three-point play, and Smart replaces him. And a rousing ovation for Joe Hillman.
A lot of time.
It was cutthroat much.
He choked.
He missed it.
Yes, sir.
Thomas has it. Indiana can win it in regulation. They trail it by a point.
Hold the string on that one.
Thomas got Vargas in the air and was short, but Callaway pounds in the offensive rebound. Timeout, LSU. It ain't over till it's over. Inside, Nikita Wilson at the buzzer. Indiana wins it. The Hoosiers go to the Final Four.
The coach said there's no way we can win this game because I don't know if we can score 78 today. You only got 77. You still came away.
He doesn't make very many mistakes. Maybe that's the first one he's made.
You have put in with this ball club, and I know you personally, because I want to bring it up first. How many hours in your life have you spent to get to this moment?
A lot. I can't count how many hours, and this is what you play for. And these 2 hours have been the most fun I've ever been into, and we're very optimistic, and it's great. It's a great feeling.
Talking about a newcomer, how about what
they've been great? They've been great.
Tell me about the defense on the Nikita Wilson, the last second shot.
Oh, gee, he's a tough player, and I had a feeling he'll take a shot. My main thing was just not to foul him. Just try to stay away from him.
Congratulations to Indiana. They go to New Orleans in the Final Four.
All right,
let's get back down to Jim. With an opportunity to win a 3rd national championship. Watching the game come to a happy ending after they struggled all second half, and his star Steve Alford almost takes him to the floor.
For Indiana at guard, a 6'2 senior from Newcastle, Indiana, number 12, Steve Alford. For UNLV at guard.
Now Banks is going with Alford. The Indiana coaches wondered who would come with him first, and Banks is trailing Alford through that screen-setting offense. Alford pulls it up, and it's going to go against Thomas. That's 2 fouls on Thomas, down away from the ball.
Free up Banks not to have to work so hard on defense. See, he doesn't want to play a smaller man on Alford. Here comes Graham into the ball game.
Graham is a 6'4 senior. He played for Bob Wade, Dunbar High School back in Baltimore before Wade moved to the Maryland job, and Wade will sit down, but they will miss that leadership out on the floor, and Alford right away has drawn Graham just as you figured he would, Billy.
Boy, people who think Vegas can't play some defense are crazy. They play as tough a man-to-man as you'll see in college ball.
It's a very aggressive defense. And Isle gets to the glass. Wasn't sealed off. Taps it in. It's 14-11. UNL is in there. Garrett cleans up rebounding. Now Indiana can tie it.
Oh, good help by Bass.
Alford quickly with his initial shot. Tapped away by Bass Knight. Here come the Rebels. Patio has it knocked away beautifully by Callaway.
You know, that's a defensive move a lot of guys are getting to be very good at. Stripping a man of the ball as he goes up for the jump shot instead of going for the block.
Alford on the drive, tosses it up and ties ties the game at 14. Steve Alford's first field goal here. Alford 1 of 2. And Billy Packer, show everybody how Indiana gets Alford open.
Nobody in college basketball moves better without the ball than Steve Alford. So here's inside with Alford. Here he's going to move, try to rub his man off a screen inside. When the switch is created, Alford will pull out to the side. If the defense goes for the switch, Garrett or Thomas will move inside looking for the inside power play. Or outside to Steve for the three-pointer.
So Indiana's ball. Check the inside matchup, Billy. Who gets Garrett?
Well, they can't change yet.
Alford. A three-pointer.
I think
Vaccaro was late in getting his arms up, but it was a three, and Banks answers with a missed one. But it's going to be run down by Banks. He responds to him verbally, and he also sets the example. He leads him on and off the floor. He's a remarkable young man.
Tell me Steve Isle isn't doing a job as a sub.
Comes all the way to the glass for the layup. He's doing a great job.
Why he's so valuable, he can play any one of three positions. He goes back in the guard spot. He plays inside defensively. He can play the forward spot.
Gilliam brings Garrett way out. They look for Gilliam. That jump hook is not there in Callaway's skies. Now Alford brings it down for the Hoosiers. 25-18, Indiana leading Vegas. Great pass to Smart, looking it off, and Smart couldn't hit it, and Gilliam brings it down for the Rebels. Here's Wade. Switched out and influenced the shot.
Graham's pulling up the trigger on his jump shot, but that was a great screen by Wade.
Wade would not give Alford an inch. Now he comes through the screens. He's got daylight, and Garrett is there.
Neither team blocking out very well on missed shots. Look at Isle just wave off. Alford said, I'll bring it up. So valuable to have a sub that can play multiple positions.
Callaway cut off. They get it back to Isle.
That was a good cutoff by Bass Knight.
Inside to Alford. Gets Banks away from him with the body and then hits the two. Wade comes right back. It's a 10-point lead. Now Alford, who is one of the best, as you might imagine, from the free throw line. He has hit 22 of 25 in the tournament. 88%.
You know, one of the top free throwers in the NBA was one of his idols when he was growing up, Jerry Seasting, who plays for the Celtics, played for Steve's dad. High school. Kid's been a gym rat all his life. Has the stroke.
It's 10 again. Bass Knight misses the Rebels' first free throw on the one-on-one. Saved by Isle. Ships it to Alford. Boy, this is a quality performance by Isle off Knight's bench. Gilliam taking Garrett.
Nice man-to-man defense by Graham.
Wade switches over on Smart. Alford couldn't do anything with Graham, so he sends it back to Isle.
Clinic by Graham right there.
Winds up in Callaway's hands. Now it's Steve's three.
Yes, and a good call by the ref. Graham stuck him right in the chest with his hand on the shot. Tarkanian wants a time.
Through that play a moment ago.
Well, Graham gives a cheap shot to Alford right there. Now, that wasn't a big physical deal, but whenever you gain an advantage with contact, which was the case there on that particular play, the official wisely made the call. Graham found himself trying to help out inside, and if you're playing Alford, never go help out inside. You better stay right with him face to face.
Now, Indiana led 9-8. It was 17-01. Thomas got his third personal foul. Since then, they have outscored Tarkanian 32-19. Joe Hillman replaces Steve Alford, who takes a break here in the first half. Now, Isle, who came in, has scored 4 points, but he has pulled down 4 rebounds, and he's played strong defense.
Stat sheet.
Eldridge Hudson is the Rebel who just checked in, and Smart is rejected.
There he is again.
Joe Hillman following up.
It seems like Vegas is making one effort on every play, and Indiana making 2, and that's why they're capitalizing. And look at who's got that ball in his hands right now.
That's 15 points for Gilliam.
Ooh, what a screen by Isle.
Against the double, they get it to Isle. Got to be an open
Alford's
man.
open.
Comes inside on the penetration. Couldn't get it to fall, but Garrett cleans it up. That's 2 big field goals by D.
Believe me, it won't happen again to UNLV if they're fortunate enough to advance in this tournament.
Alford, he was wide open when he turned on that shot.
Got free on the inside, and those great screens that Indiana runs inside.
Alford fakes and he gets inside Banks.
Steve Alford with the threat of the three-pointer. You almost have to go off your feet because you can't let him have that uncontested jumper.
17
great with
for the
the
game to give the Hoosiers the lead. The three rattles out. Graham rebounds. Quickly to Banks. He puts one up on the move. Hillman's rebound for Indiana.
Good defensive job by Hillman on that play. He knew what Freddie Banks was going to do. Indiana has not scored against man-to-man out of bounds, but I look for somebody to get a cheap one here one of these times. Oh, Wade fought over that screen beautifully. He gets caught on one there.
They sealed him, and that gave Alford enough time.
Nobody works without the ball any better than Alford does on those screens, like Scott May used to do on that great team that Bobby had in 1976.
Or Bill Bradley of Princeton. Rebounds, and now Indiana can take the lead.
Notice how Indiana has cut the break off today. Vegas has not been able to get running.
The lead for the Hoosiers at 13:08, and it's Alford who backs up field goals.
Wade's got to feel like he's running among the trees in there trying to get through. Here we talked about inside with Alford. Now watch Alford use his screens. Here's Wade trying to fight over the top. Now that was an illegal screen moving over there by Thomas. Then Steve goes wide, and when Wade tried to fight over the top of the screen, Alford stayed down on the baseline to be wide open.
Using Hillman at the point as Smart sits out, and Hillman burned him inside.
Basket counts. He caught it on the way up. On the way down, basket was going anyway.
Boy, Joe Hillman really knows how to operate an offense. Sitting out there at the key, finding the open man and getting open himself.
I think Jerry Tarkanian's had a rough day substituting in this ball game. You notice that when he went in with a smaller lineup, it allowed Bobby Knight to use Hillman. Good take.
And Alford right there. 23 for Alford. 71-65.
He's played into Bobby Knight's hands here by having a smaller team, which allows Knight to use a small club.
Gilliam comes back big for him and can't put it down, and Thomas. Look at that pick, Billy, you were referring to.
Well, here's a case where you're screening a man with the ball. Wade gets picked off right there. Now watch what happens. Steve Alford showed the pass, froze the defense, and then went up for his jump shot. He's got the whole package. Really understands how to play the game.
Indiana. Knocked away by Wade, didn't foul him, but Hillman is there again, picking up the loose ball.
Hillman makes no mistakes.
Knight wants Callaway inside. Alford off a fake. Now he gets inside. Bass Knight fouled him. That is his fourth personal foul as Alford goes to work on him.
Well, again, because of his great shooting ability, when he goes with those pump fakes, you almost have to go up there to try to block it. And then Alford just stays on the ground and goes ahead and gets off the easy shot. Now, Willard back in the game. Willard did not have a good first half in the few minutes that he played. Jerry Tarkanian's had a rough time for the substitution all day.
All right. Vegas already has committed 7 personals this half. So the bonus coming up the rest of the way for Indiana. They have only 3 team fouls, and it's 73-65. And you just saw a rare sight with Alford missing 1, and now 2. I don't think I've ever seen that. Sure, it's half Vegas' style. The 3 from Banks. Don't you ever count this bunch out. They are loaded with firepower.
Total team movement now. Everybody rubbing off screens.
This Hillman, was he crunched. Banks on one side and Willard on the other. They sandwiched. Hillman, and Banks picks up his 3rd.
But you don't expect Hillman to score, but he goes and takes it inside, which is wise. If you're only going to show the pass, the defense can get accustomed to your style.
Shooting 2, number 44.
So the winner of this game takes on Syracuse on Monday night. And again, a reminder, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. when we'll come on the air.
Ooh, Bobby Knight giving Wade a lot of earful on the sideline. 3 fouls missed by 2 good free throw shooters. Bobby's first West Coast recruit.
68, 7:28 in regulation. Here's Hillman coming down against the full court pressure, gets the ball into Garrett's hands, and then positions himself for the offensive rebound. And here's Alford, bangs in a 2, and Knight is furious. They're calling it a 2. They say that his foot was on the line.
Good call by the ref, but again, Brent, Hillman, how many times has he been there today?
And he's picked off by Willard, and that's an illegal screen on Willard. I thought it was 3 when he went up.
No, he's got a part of the toe on the line.
Yeah, I agree.
You cannot touch it in any way, shape, or form. You can see right there, he's got part of that toe on the line. I'll bet you something here, Brent. He doesn't miss 2 on this one.
Keith Smart is returning for Knight. And now Gary Graham will replace Wade. He wants to give Wade a rest here at the 7-minute mark.
Well, the way Indiana is being patient with the ball, a rest may be a very big gamble on the part of Jerry Tarkanian now. He's going to have to go all out for the next couple of minutes.
27 points for Alford. It's a 10-point Indiana lead at the 7-minute mark. Points for Armin Gilliam here this afternoon. If this was a fight, you would say you knocked Vegas down several times, but you can't knock him out. And Alford, coming around, was hit by Hudson.
Now there's a case where Hudson just not quick enough to play Steve Alford, who gave him the little clutch move on the sidelines, just went right on by him. Easy call for the official.
For Indiana, number 12, Steve Alford shooting.
Really, more than any game that we have seen lately with Indiana, Alford seems to be taking charge offensively. As Hillman does return and Smart goes out.
One of the reasons for that, I think, Brent, we just saw him against LSU. LSU had a superior athlete that had size on Steve Alford. I don't think you can play him with a man of equal size, and certainly can't play him with a smaller man, because he took Wade, went right over him and around him with the screens. Wade coming back into the ball game now, patio out.
So for Tarkanian, Wade, Graham, Hudson, Gilliam, and Banks. This is a 3-guard offense. Gilliam and Hudson, they're down by the 10-point difference at the 6-minute mark here in regulation.
Forcing the ball up the court quickly. He's kind of walking it up the floor.
Banks on the 2. And Alford got a hand on it, and there's Garrett.
The other thing you're going to see Indiana start doing now, they're going to start playing clock by moving the ball out a little bit further. Hillman in the game, he can run this offense to perfection.
Callaway using the glass. And that's 25. Banks and Alford in a shoot 'em out here in New Orleans.
Uh-oh, Callaway coming down. It looks like he has a cramp and not a knee. Now, no post offense right here. Kind of a spread by Indiana. And they run this as well as anybody that's played college basketball.
They've got Hillman.
See what a game he's playing. They will get the backdoor cuts.
Banks is the 3. Thomas and Callaway.
What you have there is a case for Freddie Banks trying to get back too much too quick.
Wade fouls Alford. That's 3 on Mark Wade and Steve Alford. gets to shoot 1 and 1. What is so impressive about this Indiana team, when you think about Knight, is the fact that here this afternoon, off the bench, he has brought 2 players, Steve Isle and Joe Hillman. And they both technically have played the game so well. Yeah, he's tough, and yeah, he'll drill it into your head, but I guarantee you, when you walk away from him, if you listen and you sort out the nonsense that he hands out, you'll know how to play the way he wants it played.
You know who has sat down most of the time? Keith Smart, okay?
Right.
A kind of guy that would love to be challenged athletically by UNLV, and that's not what Bob Knight needs today. So he goes with a Hillman who will play within himself. I think Bob Knight has had much of the better of it in regard to substitutions today.
Hudson powers back for the rebound. Out of bounds. 3:15. Indiana up by 10.
Nice move by Hillman. Points are not important here. It's the clock that's the key. Hillman understands that perfectly. There he is again, being the man in the right place.
And a foul as Hillman got down the line. That's the 4th on Wade. Boy, Hillman is continuing to do a superb job here for the Hoosiers.
Well, Brent, the key when you're a substitution playing for Bob Knight is to understand what your role is and carry it out. Don't try to do any more or less than that. And that's what we're seeing right here. He's the guy that created tempo here in this second half and kept them in a half-court offense, so UNLV never could get running.
Made it quite clear yesterday that he will never play at Las Vegas. So with 2:35 remaining, Indiana leading 88-80. They have possession. And Garrett missing, but Thomas on the other side. The position rebounding.
Garrett goes out.
Also, Garrett was hitting only 61% of his free throws in the tournament. They hit Smart. Get it back to Hillman. Isle quickly. That's the one they do not want to put on the line. Now it's Smart. Hits Hillman. Elected to pull it out. Smart for the layup, and it's a big one. It's a huge layup. 92-85, 119. That could do it for the Hoosiers. They missed the free throw. Indiana, Alford with possession.
Can't foul him.
Did you see Alford take it away from his man? And he knew that if Vegas fouled in the backcourt, he wanted to come up here to the free throw line. He took charge of business back there.
Well, Kevin Houston of Army led the nation in free throw shooting this year. Each year it seems to get better and better. Houston's shooting over 92%, but not a bad guy to have on the foul line if you want to seal up a game right here.
Alford 9 of 11 shooting free throws today. 31 points. We've had 3 30-point performances. There were a lot of people who tried to tell me that Bob Knight would never play this game in the 80s or the 90s. Yesterday when he came into the building, he said, I don't want to slow it down. I said, I don't think we can. 94-88, 20 seconds.
Of all people, Wade takes a 3.
Isle, right hand on the ball's got it from Hillman. Isle going to go all the way. That's it. Indiana's going to go to the finals.
And Brent, let me give you a stat. They've been there 4 times, and they've never failed to win the national crown.